Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and today is day number 325 of 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. And we have our service hero today, Barbara Beckley. Barbara is someone that I have gotten to know recently, and yet I feel like I've known forever. She has now joined our Buddies movement as a volunteer, as a buddy, and the energy that this woman has. Oh my goodness, the service that she is giving to so many, and the inspiration. I'm inspired by her. And I want to say this is that there are some people out there that they're just being in their presence. The energy is contagious, and that is who Barbara is. So welcome, Barbara.
Oh my God. Can I just take you everywhere when I'm getting introduced?
Sure,
You are
sure.
so awesome. Thank you. I mean, I honor you. I mean, you are just, well, people know you are just awesome. But thank you for bringing me on your show. This is an honor and a true privilege. I am so happy to be on the show today.
Well, and thank you for that. And in fact, anybody that was waiting for the show that we had posted
Mhm.
knows that we started a little late, and we wanted to
Yeah.
talk about that because life happens. You schedule things, you have your day planned, and then all of a sudden sometimes you get that call, sometimes
Yeah.
something happens, and something like that just happened in your life today,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, and I always say, Tamara, that I always like to share. I always tell people that you're going to be going for your purpose in life and moving forward, but there's always going to be those, I call them like hurricanes or earthquakes that happen around you, and you still have to have that foundation in you to stand still and still deal with it and still move forward. Because what I do, and I'll get a little bit more into it later, a little later with you, but I like to make sure that my connections are there for people so they can feel comfortable. And when they're talking about their purpose and their passion and their drive, that's what I talk about regarding the diamond factor. And one of the things that happened just a little while ago in my life, well, it happened a few weeks ago, real quickly, my cousin got into a really bad accident, 38 years old. And I found out, and it was weird because I found out the same time I was doing another show that I was putting on, and I got the call, and I still had to move forward because everything was planned, everything was, I had the person I was interviewing, and I was saying to myself, I know this is really, tragedy in my life right now. It's a cousin that I really truly love and really was close to, um, and I was like, okay, I always think about the bigger picture, like
Mhm.
if I say this to people, what happened, and there might be something happen in their lives, and how can I connect with them so they can know that even though this happened, they can still move forward and still be okay with it. Okay with it. Not saying you're not sad, not saying you don't
Mhm.
want to cry and scream, but
Right.
it's okay to still move forward. So with that, I just found out a few minutes ago before I was going to come on the show today that he passed. He
Mhm.
didn't. He was on excuse me, breathing machine for a few weeks, and his lungs basically collapsed, and they couldn't do anything for him. So he basically passed away just an hour ago. So I found that out from my other cousin, and I was like, oh my God, it was like 5 minutes or something to three. I mean, Central Time, and I knew I had to be on the show. And Tamara, she's so sweet. She asked, she said, "Are you going to be okay? You still want to do this?" I said, "Yes. If you still have me, I still want to
Mhm.
do the show because I want people to know that even though, like I said, those earthquakes and everything that happens, that you still move forward because it's not about me. See, I always say this: it's not about me. It's about helping others. So this helps anybody out there. That's what I want to be able to bring and talk about.
And thank you for that, and thank you for being so open about this, and I want to be respectful of it,
Thank
and
you.
it's something that first of all, I'm so sorry for your
Thank you.
loss and your
Appreciate it.
family's loss, because it's so tragic when these things happen, and you just
Yeah.
it makes you really value every
Yes.
single moment that we have with those that we love, and finding that will to go on
Yeah.
in their memory many times, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
you are an inspiration to me
Oh.
in so many different ways, Barbara. And the fact that you've joined the Buddies movement, and we'll talk about that in a few moments about your, your reason why and
Mhm.
everything. And it's something that we do face
Yeah.
with those that are affected by cancer, those that are affected
Mhm.
by a lot of different things in their lives
Yes.
that this is a guarantee in life is that someday this may happen. And how do we go on, those
Yes.
people that are here? And we
Mhm.
at Chemo Buddies for Life, we believe in humor, hope, and heart. And this is where it falls under the heart and being there for each other,
Yeah.
and embracing each other, and and if someone needs to cry, they cry. If
It's like,
someone needs
yeah.
to scream, they scream. And
Yes.
whatever they need to do to get through it, and so that they don't do it alone, we
Mhm.
ask them to be together. And so that's why I was so grateful that you were open to talk about
Yeah.
this, and you're
Yes.
holding yourself so well. And we
Thank
have
you.
one of our other Chemo Buddy for Life ambassadors
Oh.
and volunteers for the
Hey.
Give Us. We have Aaron with us.
Hi,
So
Aaron.
so glad that you're here with us, my dear. And so thank you for sharing that. And
No
again,
problem.
my heart goes out to the
Thank
family.
you so much, Tamara. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate everybody out there. Like I said, if I can touch one or two people so they know that, if something happened in their life, death that happened a little while ago or so, that, it's okay to move forward and know that that person would want you to do that as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And like Aaron says here, it's okay to not be
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
and that's why we're talking about it right now. And it's raw, it's real, it just happened. And that's the way sometimes it works. And
Yes.
um
Yeah.
and so sorry for your loss. Yes.
Thank
We
you.
all
I
we all
appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love out there.
and that's what it's really interesting. I just pulled this out, and it was really interesting. It was before I even knew about what had happened, and
Oh, that is so pretty.
it's a rock that was given to me just recently, and
Oh.
it actually was in of all things, it was surprised in a little treasure box, right?
Oh,
And I thought, how cool is that? That
yeah.
sometimes, here's a pirate box, and yet here's a heart.
Heart right in there.
And
Did you know the heart was in the pirate box when you received it?
no,
Wow, that
it
was a
was
big surprise.
yeah, real surprise. And I thought, how beautiful is this? And sometimes, how, as I was looking at this, it's polished and it's beautiful and everything. And it just represents to me how we can move through life. And I'm wondering, okay, it's like I started spinning off on it. Did someone produce this? Is it, it's so
Mm.
beautiful. And yet
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't need to question that. I can just be in the moment and be
Yeah.
real and say, this is a beautiful rock that
Yes.
represents a heart. And so it reminds me, and I have it here to remind me that we always are one of the things in nature, it's like, okay, yes, the rock of our foundation, the foundation of our movement, and
Yeah.
it being a heart. So we're moving forward, and
Yes.
let's talk about what it is that you do. You know, let's talk about now, the here and now, and then we'll go
Okay.
into your story, into the backstory.
Okay.
You are amazing. You have a show. You're a best-selling author. You're award-winning,
Mhm.
and all sorts of cool stuff. Where do you want to start?
Well, I want to start with the heart of what I love to do, and that's what came to me was the diamond factor. And I call the diamond factor your passion, your purpose, and your drive. And I say that this should be, and I put it as equal to your foundation. Because when you think about it, when you really, really, really know your purpose or what you should be doing, and you know the passion behind that, and then the
Mhm.
drive, I call it the gas. I call it the gas to push the two. Is when you really know that, is that anything that happens, just like I said a little while ago, what happened with me, and in all the other stories that we all have in our lives, not just the stories that I have that through the valleys, I call them little valleys. that you can push forth because you know what that purpose is in your life. So my purpose, I found at a very young age, it took time for me to, because I had to get cut, I had to get sharpened, and I get mold. And that's why I use it as a diamond factor, because as you know, a diamond, it takes time to get to that point of being that shiny diamond. So
Mm-hmm.
I took a lot of hits through my when the younger years. I was a very shy young lady. I used to get bullied when I was younger, and the only person, and it's funny, Tamara, when you talked about that rock, that heart, that my father, I call him my rock. He passed when I was 17, but he was the one that instilled. And there's this picture. Oh my God, thank you so much. As you can see, that's my dad, and he was my rock because he instilled in me when everybody else was talking all that, words about you're not this, you're ugly, you're not pretty. I mean, I was having a whole lot of things going in my head, even with my mother. Thank God for her, but she thought that saying things like you need to do this, Barbara, you need to lose weight, you need to look better, you need to, concentrate on things, that she thought that was her way of getting me to move forward. In fact, it was really just hurting me inside because it was knocking my self-esteem down. So my dad would always come and say, you know what? I know your mother means well. I know the kids at school, they're doing this, but I want you to know. And he would always look in my eyes and give me the biggest hug and say, you are a diamond in the rough, and remember that.
Oh,
And I'm telling you, Tamara, I remember that. And two other people after he passed didn't even know him, didn't even know the situation I was dealing with, came to me and told me the same thing. So then I knew that, okay, it has to be something with this diamond. Something's
right.
going on with this diamond. And I promised myself when I was getting older, I really learning how to like move forward in my life through the things that I was dealing with, that I didn't want anyone to lose their voice or to know that they have a voice, that they have a purpose, that they have that special gift in them. It's a
Mm-hmm.
unique gift. That's why it's so special, because I would hate for everybody to be the same around here. I wouldn't want. I mean, I love Tamara to death, but we 150,000 Tamaras, and you don't get to know anybody else. So
Right.
I love it where I always tell people that you are unique. You were put on this earth for just as an accident, and
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe in that. And I said I need to put something out there and show the diamond. So I really started forming the Diamond Factor LLC, which includes me as a speaker. I'm a professional speaker. I'm also, like you said, I wrote. I was in two collaboration books, and also I just love to interview diamonds. That's why a few days ago I interviewed Tamara, because I look at her as a wonderful diamond. And I always want to look for people that I can have them shine. And I always tell them, I said, this is no charge at all. I'm not even looking for that. I just want to put you out there and promote you so people know your value, so they can understand that they have a value too.
Mm-hmm. Well, and and we had so much fun on your show. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
goodness, it
did.
was just so much fun. Now you're in this book here, and then you have another one that's just coming out. Is that what it
It's
is? That
coming out. Yes, it's coming out in October of this, just a few weeks from now. And I collaborate with this wonderful lady. She's such a woman of God, and it's called Influence. 330 Women of Influence 31, and it goes by the Proverbs 31 in the Bible. And we're taking different aspects of that of women, of how strong we are in using certain like under mine, I have purpose, because I'm always talking about purpose. So we're talking about our stories, and then we're trying to give applications to people on how they can, oh there it is, on how they can use that in their own lives to move forward. So yeah, I'm really excited about that too. And there's a tour with that book, because she's going to be everywhere. It starts in Atlanta, and I'm next year she's going to have like seven different tours. I'm going to go to Barbados September of next year.
wow.
Yeah. So we're really pushing it and letting the ladies know that they are so special, and just to learn and grow, just from others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so this is something that you're it's like a show on the road. You guys are going to go out there, and is there a workbook involved also, or is
Well,
it that there's some kind of a collaborative and like a self-help type of situation, or what is it?
Well, basically, it's a conference. It's called a Her International Conference, and the book kind of goes into that. So she's going to have certain authors that are able to come to the certain locations and
Okay.
talk about their part in the book and how how you can learn and grow from certain aspects. So it's really just, and I love how she's having us to be spotlighted, and she's just not really asked for much. She'll really remind me of me and you, how you just want to get people out there so you can get to know the awesome people that are out there that's helping you grow. So within the different the women's conference, she's having at different locations, she's having a special part of it where we're going to be talking with the authors in the book and how to learn from there.
So that so you are a best-selling author in a couple categories with the other book, and then this book, you are going to be able to have your story shared and
Wonderful.
go out and actually see people face to face. And so it's kind of
Yeah,
the best of all of the worlds with the two books that you've already been a part
awesome.
of and copy. You know, that is exciting.
Yes.
In fact, one of the, I was in another book, and it's had a delay in getting out there, and so I can't wait until that gets finally shared. But now I'm going to be in my first book with others in regards to
Awesome.
the experience of the next impactor, because we're going to have three different books that are going to be coming out in regards to it. And what fun is that?
That is,
It is.
oh,
I never had thought it could be so much fun to be involved with the others. And it's like, okay, what is their story going to be about?
mm-hmm.
Because it's
Yeah,
all revolving around a theme, and
yeah.
everybody has a different kind of take on it. And
Taking
so
on it,
then
yeah.
when you start reading these, they're so much fun. It's like
I
you can't put
know.
them down.
I know. And it's so awesome that, the women, because I mean, the book, there's mostly women in the book that I'm in both in, that they are open and vulnerable enough to talk about their stories. I mean, their stories, Tamara, I mean, and you probably read a few in other books too, that they are just so, you like, oh my God, I wouldn't even imagine. Then you
Right.
meet the person and they're just kind of like, and you're like, well, I just read your story. I can't believe that you're still, or whatever. But they're like, they always say, and I always, resonate with them because it's like, but I just want to help another person, if they're dealing with that. And I'm like, you know what, you are so right, because that's where my passion is at too. So just to have them able to sit there and say, I'm going to put this in writing, I'm going to put it in a book, and I'm going to have people read it all over. That, to me, that's just as, there's no words to say with that. It's just awesome.
And it goes along with everything that you were about. And as I was grabbing some of these images, I'm thinking, okay,
Yes.
look at that smile, everyone. Here you have the vision boards, and oh, we've got Teresa Snyder
Oh,
here. Hello, my dear. I'm so glad you're here with us from Texas.
ah,
If you haven't gotten to know Teresa yet, you need to, Barbara, because she does conscious conversations, and she has interviewed so many people from all over. In fact, she was one of the top 25 Next Impactors.
oh, okay, Teresa.
Yeah, she won Best Dressed from Coach Vicky, and was highlighted for that beautiful dress. So,
Um,
so you have come from a situation where you were shy. You
mhm.
you were and did you always grow up in Chicago? Because you're in Chicago now.
Yes.
You always
Yes, I grew up in Chicago, on the north side of Chicago, for a while, and then my parents basically got a divorce and separated around, I think I was 12 or 13 at that time, and that was another roller coaster because I really wanted to stay with my dad, but then my mother wanted me to go with her, and then that was a whole different uh, change because we moved from the north side where basically I believe I'm in the world of every race, every culture should be together. We love each other. Well,
right.
I left from that part back on the south side of Chicago, which was mostly, African Americans, and I
Okay.
wasn't used to that. So
No.
it took me out of my comfort zone, and then there was even more beat up there for me for my talking about me, because then they called me an Oreo cookie. That was my nickname there. So they're like, you're black in the front, you're white in the inside. And I was like, why am I going through? Sometimes you ask yourself why, and especially when you're
Right.
that young, you don't
Right.
understand what's happening. And at that time, I didn't understand exactly what was happening. But as I got older and it was putting the pieces together, and I was like, now I understand why different things happen in my life, because, to get to this point, so I can, hopefully be that light or that beacon for people. So with that, Tamara, my father, like I said, is 17. He passed, and he didn't
Right.
pass over a sickness, or he passed because he was murdered. He was murdered, and that's in my story in one of the overcoming the books, that the first book that I was in. I put that story in that book because I really wanted people to see that, such a tragedy that happened at the age of 17, because I was about to graduate from high school. And I told you, he was my rock. He was the one that was
Right.
always cheering me on.
Right.
And for
Right.
him to die and die the way he did, I just was like, okay, I'm just done. I'm just, this is,
Yeah.
I can't, I just, at that point in time, I was just like, so done, to the point where I lost it. And I'll make this quick. I lost it. I went in my bedroom, because what happened was my mother and father was separated. So she got the call from the police. They basically told her that, we found your, ex-husband in his apartment. For 5 days he was in there,
Oh,
and they just found his body 5 days afterwards, around Thanksgiving. I'm telling you, everything's happening all in this thing. And
right.
the first thing I heard my mother say is, "How am I going to tell my daughter what just
Right.
happened?" So she yells out. And my mother was total opposite of me. She wasn't shy. She talked to everybody. She was really rough around the edges. So when she came to me, she wasn't like, "Oh, Barbara, your father." It was like, "Your father. They just found your father, and he's dead." And I was like, to me, I'm just like, I just felt like the blood just rushed out of my body. That's how I was like, oh my God, what are you talking about? I'm looking at her and I'm getting mad at her, because I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what
Right.
you. So I just ran into my room at the time, shut the door, and just totally lost it. I mean, I tore up everything, and I was like they call the Hulk. I was like She-Hulk, and I just tore up everything in that room. And she had to wind up calling the paramedics. Long story short, they had to get me out the room, basically. And when they found me in the room, I was in a little corner, just held up just like this in a little circle. And they had to take me to the hospital. But when they took me to the hospital, they had to put me on um, suicide watch, because they didn't know if I was whatever I was going to do. And at that time, I did have those thoughts. The thoughts did start coming in, because again, I felt like I just lost the person that was really helping me move forward in life.
Right.
And Tamara, this is where the magic happened. This is where the magic happened. Second day, I was in the room in my bed in the at the hospital, and a nurse came in, because they had to come and check for everything.
Right.
Comes in there, and she looks at me, and I'm just laying there kind of in and out, because they still have me on some sedatives. And she's like, "I don't know who you are. I know there was a loss in your family. I don't know who it was, but I don't think they would want you to do what you're thinking about doing right now, because you seem like a very, very good lady, a young lady about to go. You're in high school. You're doing your education, and I just feel like." And she said, "I don't know why this is coming upon me, but I just feel like you're just a diamond in the rough."
Oh.
Oh my God, Samir. That just,
Okay. Okay. Tissue
okay,
time.
I'm sorry. I am so
No, that's
sorry.
okay. That's okay.
That just changed my whole perspective on what I was going to do, what I was thinking about. And at that time, I said, whatever I do moving forward now, I'm going to live for my dad, because I know that he would not want me to do this. And he told me that I was a diamond in the rough. That was the second time I heard that. And I knew that something was there,
Right.
that I needed to change my whole thought process.
Right. So then
So
you
yeah.
go on to school, right?
So I went on. I graduated from high school with honors. With
Hmm.
honors.
Mm-hmm.
Very rough, because I took a week out because I couldn't take too long, because we were
Right.
about, I had to get my grades and get everything going. And
Mm-hmm.
my mother, she kept saying, well, you need to do what well, like I said, rough around the edges. I
Yeah.
know he's gone, but you need to keep going. And I promised myself, I said, I need to push forward for my dad, because he would want me. He believed in education so much. He believed in, really standing strong in that, and knowing and understanding, being aware of things. So I took that on, and I went from there. I went straight to college, and I was working during the day. So at night, because I had to keep up with me and my mother, we were kind of in a financial situation. So
Right.
she was like, well, if you're going to go to school, you have to wait, because, we're dealing with some things here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to figure this out. So I figured it out, where went to college at night, and then I worked during the day, and then got my degree in business management, and then went back to school. Oh, that's Teresa. And went back to school to get a second degree. And it was a communication, at that time, computer communication business. So with all that, um, I told myself I got to keep moving. And then what I say about the earthquakes and the volcanoes again hit me again, where at the age of 23, I was sexually molested. I was raped at the age of 23, and another hill to climb up on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying to me at that time, I'm like, what's going on? And every time I tell the stories to people, my stories, they're like, but how did you, it seemed like you just kept moving. And I'm not saying believe me, it wasn't easy. It was just like, oh, I'm just going through and just keep pushing. But
Right.
I kept thinking to myself, that's why I had an anchor. And at that time was my dad. So I
Mm-hmm.
just kept holding on like dear life, and saying, I know there's a reason why things are happening in my life like this. I know
Right.
why I'm going through these struggles. And hopefully I needed to get mature enough to this age to understand and to say, okay, Barbara, now that you have these, now that you learn and grew from them, how can you help somebody else?
And so things like what you put out there, winners are not people who never fail, but the people
Yes.
that never quit. You are
Yeah.
leading by example. A strong person is not the one who doesn't cry. A
Yeah.
strong person is one who is, who is that sheds those tears
Yeah.
and then picks up the sword. I
Yeah.
love that. Her sword, and fights again. I
Yeah.
love that. And it's like when I was on your show and we had the tissues, ready to go and such, because it's like, okay, life, what we started with the show, life happens,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's getting through it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also finding people that you can get through it together with. And that's
Yes.
the thing that I have found in my short time in knowing you, but feeling like
Mhm.
I've known you now forever, is
I
that,
know.
I know, it's just that, you have this ability,
Thank you.
and now I'm getting even that much more.
Yeah.
It's like that foundational rock. It's like this
Yes.
rock, the heart,
Mm-hmm.
and your father, my grandfathers, who I think of, and my mom, it's like
Yeah.
they're my rocks, my
Yes.
and we can hold on to those and be
Mhm.
able to get out there and make a difference. So
Yeah.
you went out and you got an education,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you have made yourself into this amazing woman that I mean, you've been, I mean, TEDx. Let's talk TEDx. What?
Well, I haven't did TEDx yet.
Well,
That's my goal. That's my
that's
goal
the
is
goal.
to
Okay,
do the
because
TEDx. Yes.
I see that you have been around the TEDx stages, and I
Yes, I
had
have.
the
I have.
image, but I guess I'm missing it here. Oh no, here we go.
Yes. Well, I'm
Um,
part of, I don't know if you've probably heard about Toastmasters organization.
yes.
So I got a part of that 9 years ago, because that really helped me move from my voice to really communicate better, and leadership skills, because that's what it does with everybody. And through that, I met some still was wonderful friends within the Toastmaster group. And I created a group called Midwest Speaking Professionals, because a lot of people, after they were going through the, okay, I'm confident in everything, they said, okay, now I want to be the speaker, this professional speaker. So there was no clubs, as they call Toastmaster clubs, that can deal with that type of people. So I said, you know what? I'm moving towards that. Let's do this. So we created 4 years ago, and through that, as you see the TEDx, there's a few of my friends there that was a TEDx speaker. I know Jeff Stein, yeah, he's in the middle there. He did his, and then Eric on the other side, he did his a year ago. So we always support each other whenever we when we speak out to different events. So we
Mhm.
always been, and it's funny because this event in Vernon area, TEDx, they've been every year. There's one person from our group that's going doing a TEDx. So they keep looking at me, saying, "Okay, Barbara, you're
Yeah,
next."
yeah. I have no doubt in my soul that you've got TEDx in your future,
Oh,
and you were just recognized with the appreciation award
yes,
from
yeah.
your organization there, right?
Yeah, I've been Toastmasters. So I've been through. I climbed up the ladder through there because, like I said, I was shy, so I was able to climb up through the point where there's different levels of leadership within Toastmasters. The highest being in the district level, and what they call a trio. So there's three people. It's a district director, it's program quality director, and then there's also a club road director, and they're over the whole district of Chicago. So I
Okay.
was the program quality director a few years ago, and then after that, because every year I think they change the guards because they get people so they can really learn. And
Right.
with that, I still was there to help out, do presentations, do training, a whole lot of different things. So the district director that year gave me that award because she said, "Barbara, you're always so supportive. You're always helping and guiding and mentoring." So yeah, that was very surprising. She surprised me, and usually she can't surprise me that much. I was like, I don't know how you did this, but you did it.
She pulled one on you, huh?
She pulled a big one on me, Tamara. And it was in a dinner because they had we had a conference, and she was just talking about, I really appreciate certain people and stuff like that. And she told me to come because she wanted me to help with something there, which I always, if I can help in the background, I will. And then all of a sudden I'm helping out in the background, and all of a sudden I hear my name called, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm trying to do this with the sound. She's like, no, you're getting an award.
Oh,
So yeah, so it,
that.
it it was nice to see that. It's nice to be appreciative, but I always tell myself I want to stay very humble, because I always say to myself, it's not about, I mean, if I'm being a leader, a servant leader to help others, that's what I want to do. And that's why I try to, when I say things, you have to, when you put stuff out there, you need to walk the walk, because a lot of people
Right.
people are watching you, and I'm glad that they are, because I want them to have that hope, that like I said, that light at the end of that tunnel, as
Right.
they say, is to say, you know what, she went through this, she dealt with this, she's going through this, but she's, moving forward, she's making those decisions. And I
Mhm.
always say, Tamir, that it's up to us when we have things going around in our lives. We inside of us, it always stems back to us saying, what decision did you make to create either this roller coaster of craziness or this positivity in your life? And I don't care who's around you, you have to make that decision to say, I'm going to either subject to that, or I'm not going to subject to it. So that's what I always tell people.
Well, it's like this, it's like I love your images. I mean, it's like in fact, that's why I was like, okay, when you get in here, because of the new format they've got,
Yeah.
say something, because I don't know that I'll find you, because I have so many of them that I picked. Because you have such a fun way of being able to get a message out there of inspiration and hope, and like this. Okay, you've been through the ringer. Yes, you've got stories that you could definitely get, be on a TEDx stage, be able to share a message, be inspirational, be able to help others to then feel inspired to win, right?
Yes.
And in a humble way.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank you.
love this though. Have a blast. And um here we have Mr. Awesome himself, rock
Who's that,
star.
Eric? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Wow. Thank
yeah,
you.
Yes, very. He's just had an event, and Mikey Adam Cohen was with him. And then, sorry for your loss.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you
one
so
of
much.
one of our other volunteers, one of our newer ones, Carmen. So let's continue.
Yes. Yes.
Where is it that you right now are focusing your energies? I know you've talked about your book. I know you've talked about your going internationally and speaking on stages. And
Mhm.
let's see. Yeah, no. Here we go. Uh, NDSO, no drama, serve others. Yes. And yeah, need to
Oh, I
pee
love
every
that.
day. Positive, energetic, and awesome.
Oh, thank
Yes, you know
you.
it. And Eric, uh, if you guys don't know each other, you need to, because
Yeah, we need the yeah, I need the
yeah,
energy.
yeah,
So
oh, absolutely, yes, yes. And Eric, she's out of Chicago area, the Chicagoland area. You currently are involved with the Women's Prosperity Network,
well,
or
I'm still a member of them. I did have a chapter here for the Women's Hospital in Chicago, which I ran for over 2 years. And, I talked to the three wonderful sisters that are over that because they are sisters in blood. We always say it's
uh,
just so awesome how they are because they just they motivate me all the time. So I told them I really wanted to move forward in the diamond factor segment of my life because I know that was something, as you heard the stories, Tamir, that it was put in me a long, long time ago. So I really wanted just to kind of just push that brand and make sure that that was out there because that's just like my little baby
right,
of a
absolutely.
business.
Well,
So that's when I want to make that shine.
and you are, and you're doing it through your show too. You have a show.
Yes. So real on Facebook Live, I usually do diamond spotlight interviews, and I did one with Tamir just a few days ago. And like I said, I look for the diamonds to shine. Then I also have Monday through Friday. I do the Diamond Factor show, which basically the biggest thing, my mission is to put out there for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, sometimes 20. I know I go over because I just get so excited that I
Right,
just give the just think about different ways of being positive, learn how to, work with a person coming in on a Monday saying, oh my God, Monday. And you have to, put the big shine on and say, no, Mondays are good.
right.
Mondays are awesome. And, people look at you like you're on drugs. But so I always try to give little tips and, just little information to move people forward every day through that diamond show.
And you are definitely doing that. I mean, anybody that's not seeing the diamond factor in this, and Barbara right now, I think that, I don't know what's happening. Your eyes are closed. Eric is saying, woman. Okay, awesome. Super great friends. And, so,
Oh, he
uh,
knows them. Okay,
yes,
let's go.
yes.
Okay.
So let's continue in regards to, now I want to talk a little bit about what you and I have in common and why it is that you decided to come forward with us with the Chemo Buddies
Yes.
movement. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that in your history?
So really, when I heard, well, first of all, congratulations to you becoming the first impactor. I didn't get a
Oh,
chance to
thank
say
you.
that earlier. Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome,
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So
Thank you.
because I told Tamir I've been following her before she won, and I was like, this woman is just has a heart of gold. And when I seen about the chemo buddy, I'm like, ooh, that is something that I really want to get into because what happened to me, as I shared with Tamir, that I've been in remission for 9 years now. So I found out I had yes, wonderful. I found out I had a uterus cancer, and I had to have a rush hysterectomy done. So that's another the valleys again.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
age of 40, this is 44. I'm telling my age, but I don't care. At that age where they had to rush me to get it because, again, telling ladies out there, because this is breast cancer awareness in October this
Right.
year, that
Yes.
please get your mammogram. I'm just gonna throw that out really quick. Please
Yeah.
make sure you go because Barbara did not. And that's why I always say you learn lessons from a person
Yes.
that is not thinking. And I
Right.
told myself that, okay, learn from my mistakes too. So
Mhm.
I waited too long, and I found out that I had, 95% cancer cells in my uterus, that they had to basically do a hysterectomy because they didn't want to get through my lymph nodes and then
Mhm.
cause it all over my body. So with
Mhm.
that said, I told myself after that happened and I'm in remission, that if I can help again, be a connection to help others, to be that buddy, that chemo
Mhm.
buddy that Tamara has, that I would like to do it. So when I heard her story and heard what she's doing and heard her movement, I was like, oh my God,
Right.
this fits. So that's
Right.
why I jumped on the bandwagon and I said, Tamara, I want to do this. If I can volunteer in any kind of way, any small, whatever I can give, I want to do that. And I'm really excited about it because, yeah, say the date, December 3rd.
Yes,
that
yes. We've got a big event that we're getting ready
Yes.
for.
And
Mm.
the biggest thing I wanted to say real quickly, Tamara, is that with what Tamara's doing is with the chemo buddy, is everybody, I went through it by myself. When I found out about the cancer, I had some, because I had basically a separation with my husband, and he wasn't really there for me. Other friends and families, they really wasn't there. So it was just like me and the doctors, really, and the nurse. And I thank God for nurses that
Yes.
really care, that really
Yes.
will come and be that buddy. Because there
Yes.
were some of them, they were really my buddy, to the point where, they were like, Barb, we're here for you. We're a nurse, but we're here for you. And
Mhm.
because they've been through it with other people. So it's
Right.
really important to have that chemo buddy next to you, to just give you that, even to make you laugh. Even
Yeah.
to make you laugh, and just to, tell a joke or two, just
Mhm.
anything to get you through that, because it is a rough stage to get through when you're dealing with dealing with cancer, and don't know what the outcomes are going to be, don't know if you have to keep moving with the chemo, don't know if you have to, whatever the case may be. I mean, for me, I thank God that they were able to remove everything where I'm in remission, and they haven't seen any more cells. But
Mhm.
for others, they have to go through this on a day-to-day basis. And
Mhm.
if they have that little buddy next to them,
Right.
then that makes it so much more alive for them to move forward and say, you know what, even though I'm going through this, I have somebody in my corner.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to go into it too much, but what we were showing this last Wednesday when we were showing the beta site, what do you think about that once we get that out there?
Oh boy. Well, that's why I was asking you. This is going to be all over the universe, because I
Oh
have
yeah.
some people already, Tamir, that are ready to volunteer as well, but they didn't know it was going to be in a different states or just in one
Yeah.
state. So I
Yeah.
said, no,
Yeah.
this is going to be worldwide.
Worldwide. Yeah, now you understand how we're going to be doing it. Yes, we here soon. We were actually unveiling it because of winning the next impactor and the coaching that I was able to win. We are all benefiting from this. In fact, we are every Wednesday night. If you guys want to volunteer, you will want to volunteer because every Wednesday night, right now, we are being coached by my business coach on how to effectively create an event that will be successful. And in it, we all are going to be walking away with business coaching on how to create our businesses and our individual projects to be successful. And
Awesome.
it's pretty incredible, isn't it? I
I'm
mean,
telling you, I mean, I was in the last one and I was like, oh my God. It was like Jason, right? He's
Jason, yes, Jason
oh,
Cisneros. Yes,
he put
yes,
things in perspective. He
yes.
said, okay, we have to have certain, objectives. I'm like, yes, yes. So it's going so great so far. And Tamara, again, you are the founder of this. So, kudos to you. You just don't know how many lives you are touching and how many people that really need this chemo buddy. They really do.
Absolutely. And in fact, we you were able to be there with some of the volunteers. Not even all of them were there this last week, but
Okay.
the work that's being done right
Mhm.
now to be able to go forward with the 24-hour streaming media event that is going to be on Giving Tuesday. That is December the 3rd. It is a fundraiser. We are taking donation pledges now, and I am going to be starting a show tomorrow, the countdown to December the 3rd. We have a new logo that we're going to be revealing here very soon. So many wonderful things happening. And yes, to answer the question for anybody that would like to know about the buddies, right now we have been putting buddies together manually. However, very, very shortly, we will have the beta site ready, up and going, because we gave a brief tour of it this last Wednesday. The gentleman that's been helping to create it actually walked us through some of it, and it is pretty spectacular. It's something we've been working on for months, and the vision has been for years. And it is, when I have been able to, when I was going out there with the Next Impactor saying that we will be able to create buddies throughout the world, now it makes sense, right?
Yes, it does. It does. And remember how we say everything happens for a reason, Tamara? So it was a reason, a big reason why you won that, because now this is uplifting even this purpose even more so out there to the world. So you are an awesome, you're a tool, you're a vessel that's being used so wisely, so wisely.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And today we're having a double hitter show for Service Heroes, because in a few hours, a couple of hours, what time is it right now, my time, it will be that Coach Vicky from Australia is great. And so it was the whole time difference. It's like, okay, now what day is it? How far, and I'm trying to figure out this whole time zone thing, It's like, okay, it's going to be noon tomorrow for her, and it's 6:00 in the evening for me. And she is going to be coming on, and we're going to be talking about how we are truly taking Chemo Buddies for Life internationally. And she's a big part of that too, because of her international movements and how she's been able to do that. So thank you for getting involved. Thank you for bringing that amazing diamond energy to, may I say, Queen Diamond energy.
I call the women's Queen Diamonds, yes.
There you go, to the Chemo Buddy for Life movement, because every single buddy matters. And it's like what we started in the very beginning of the show. And then I want to be able to give you some time for pearls of wisdom. When we started at the beginning of the show, you were talking about how, the real, and throughout the show, really, the ups and downs, the peaks, the valleys, the roller coaster ride that life can be. However, and as you were talking about that, I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking, I understand it, I get it. Many of us have had those kind of roller coaster lives, and at some point in time, I'm going to have a book, guys, and you'll be able to see my roller coaster ride. And the thing about it is, a roller coaster, I don't know about you, but I love them. And I love putting my hands up, trying to put my hands up, it's like, woo, and it's like, okay. And then, when I've been with my kids and their friends, and, because I adopt kids, I have plenty of them around, mine that I gave birth to and not. But, it's like going down, and then all of that excitement, and it's like, you can look at it in different ways. And that's the thing about building a movement, building the momentum, building each other up. And when you think about coal, you think about that black rock, that pressing, and that life that, with your dad talked about, and then the nurse talked about, and you are out there talking about, and how sometimes it hurts. It can hurt to have, that kind of pressure going. Yet when it's done, you have this beautiful diamond. It's an example of nature. Nature is gives us so many different lessons. And your life has definitely been one of, you could have stayed in that ball. You could have stayed in that corner, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was almost about to take my own life. I mean, that was that close. And at the age of 17, and now, I'm at the young age of 51. I can honestly say I'm so glad that that nurse came in at the right time. There's a timing for everything in your life. And if you really, really, you need to take advantage of by really listening and really
Mhm.
staying focused, because you don't know the little things, the little pebbles that people drop in your life, little seeds. You might miss it because you get so caught up in everything else. So real quick, I didn't want to take you, but really just to end, I mean, because I know we have to end, but I just want people to know that, be awareness of what's around you and people that are talking to you, because it might come from somewhere where you're totally like wouldn't even know where it came. Just like the
Mhm.
nurse, she didn't know me. I didn't know her. I was so
Mhm.
busy in my little, state of mind with my dad, and she was just a stranger. But that stranger put a seed in me that put life back into me to say, okay, Barbara, you need to move on here. Your father would want you. If anybody else in the world right now, your father would want you to do this. So, I took advantage of that and I really took a hold to it. A lot of people probably would have been like, whatever, diamond in the rough, I don't know what you're talking about. And they would have probably, maybe they would have moved on and did what they, shouldn't have did. But I was aware, even through all that. So I just want people to know that there's reasons for what happens. And I look at it as a stepping stones through your life to move forward. And then the really nice part of it, like I said, they say the cherry on top of the whole thing is that you can take those stepping stones, those learning curves that you learn from life, and be able to be hope for somebody else and give them that confidence and that hope that they can move on to.
Okay, I've got to ask this question because you are just so motivational. Yes, I see a TEDx. I see TED,
You did that
in your future.
excellently.
Um, in 5 years, 5 years from now, what does your diamond movement look like?
5 years, I want to be 100% traveling the world talking about the diamond factor. I mean, right now during the day, I work in a corporate organization during the day, and I've been there for not 20 years. And I said, you know what? I don't see myself going any longer because I know I need to take this. I call this a movement. I call the Diamond Factor a movement
Yeah, yeah.
because I want every person to know how special they are and that
Mhm.
purpose they have in them. And don't let the tragedies and all those things in your ear stop you from being who you really are. Because when it really boils down to, like I said earlier, Tamara, it depends on how you react to what's going on around you. You have to make that decision. You can blame everybody in the whole world, but what started? How did you react to it? What decision that you made for it to start even going wherever it went? So that's what I always ask myself, no matter what's hitting, no matter how pissed off I get, no matter how sad I get or whatever. I'm like, okay, Barbara, this is your time. This is your truth to say, how are you going to react to this? And I think that's the biggest thing. We ask ourselves that question, things will start moving the right way, even though you're dealing with that event in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to ask this one too because of the fact that I mean, I just yes, I'm inspired by this woman. If you haven't figured
Oh,
it out,
it's
the
so
fact
sweet.
that you're there in Chicago
Well, I live
and
in Wisconsin. So I
you're in.
work in Illinois and I live in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay,
So I
okay,
do travels.
so okay, got it. But you're in that area, that neck of the world
Yeah.
in the United States, and you grew up in the Chicagoland area,
Mhm.
and I mean, you're an interracial woman, right?
Mhm.
And there's so many of the kids these days that are being bullied. There are so many that their self-esteem is so diminished. There's so much pressure out there for our young people that it's ridiculous the numbers of what's happening these
Mhm.
days. And the diamond factor, the diamond movement, have you thought about also translating that into a message for the kids?
Yes, I definitely, especially I want to, because it has to start. It's just like how with me, the seed started at the age of 7 when I was hearing those voices of the other kids telling me that I wasn't worth anything. So it has to start there. It has to start in the schools. I mean, I had one teacher out of all the teachers, there was one teacher, again, diamond in the rough again, she told me the same thing. That's why I said it happened 3 times. That's why I knew something was happening with the diamond. But it has, like you said to me, it has to start at that level, because
Mhm.
you don't want to wait till it gets to this point, and then now you got to knock down a tree that grew. If you can just get rid of that seed that's trying to grow that's not right, then it won't grow into that big root. So we have to start somewhere, in that level, and especially with the teen when they get teenagers. Oh my God, yes, definitely. I am working on saying, okay, I got to take this diamond factor so they can understand in their language, because with the younger, with the millenniums and
Mhm.
everybody, they have their
Mhm.
own little language. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
asking, and I believe in God, and I said, God, help me get to the language they can understand what I'm saying is not just words on a piece of paper, or I'm just saying things. So that's why another reason, and I thank God for my stories. I thank God for what I went through, because if I can tell that to them and they'll be like, oh my God, you're still standing here telling me to be a diamond. That to me, that would be like, I hope I reached you somewhere in that mind. You were reached from my stories. So yes, definitely, we have to hit the children. We have to hit the teenagers.
Absolutely. And because I'm thinking the fact that they've got to be able to relate to you in so
Mhm.
many different ways. The fact that you have not lived a sheltered life, you've lived it. You've had so many of the issues that many of them are dealing with, and look at you now.
Thank
you're
you.
you're here
I'm
with
here.
with the show, even given the situation of your day to day. And
Mhm.
that right there, and I hope that anybody that's watching this, and if you know someone either that you're thinking, oh wow, this person needs to hear
Yes.
Barbara's story, this person needs to be inspired today, because there are those people that are the diamond in the rough right now,
Mhm.
that they don't see themselves
Mhm.
shining. They see the
Mhm.
black all over, the black
All
coal,
over. Yeah.
that black rock all over them. That's all crusty and rough,
Mhm.
and yet in the
Okay.
middle of it, yes,
Yes.
to let it out and let it shine. It's like I actually pulled these today, and I didn't know why, but it's like this little light, and it was like
Oh.
these little lights shine,
Mhm.
and I brought them from another part of my house, and I thought,
Mhm.
why am I bringing this? And I'm thinking, because we need to be able to let our light shine,
Yes. Yeah.
and too many people are right now feeling as though they don't have any light
Yeah. They have
left
me like.
in them. And that's why we have the rates of suicide. That's why we have the
Mhm.
rates of cutting and bullying, and so many of the things that when I was running for the next impactor, the nonprofit that I was out there with for 31 days, we did public service announcements for the Fusion Project, which
Oh,
is a project in the Chicagoland area.
okay.
And it's one that they're working with the girls that are in the
Mhm.
junior high age, to help them to have self esteem,
Mm.
and so
Mm.
that they are not then found to be bullied or
Yeah.
bulliers, and that they
Mm.
will know that they don't have to be in a domestic
Yeah.
abuse
No.
environment. Plus, what are the signs of possibly being a target for sex trafficking? and
Yes. Yes.
and so that it all goes back to the self-esteem issue, and that's what this is all about, and what I'm thinking with the diamond factor. And so and the diamond movement. So you are just incredible. And
Thank you. You are
I
too.
thank you. And I really do want to, as we're starting to go forward with a chemo buddies too,
Yeah.
is to be able to bring you in as an inspirational person to say,
Yes.
okay, it's not easy to go through cancer. It's not easy. I may lose my hair. I may lose other body parts. I might, whatever. I come out
Mhm.
different. I am a new normal. However, we
Yeah.
all have that diamond within us to shine
Mhm.
and go forward, and we can do that. You're an example of that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I,
Yes. So I
that
just really thank you again for your, just movement that you're having with the chemo, but you just don't know. It's just needed so much. So thank you for listening to that call. Because a lot of times, if we don't listen to that call that we have in us or that purpose we have in us, it can go dormant. So because I heard yours, you got to go. She has all story too, everybody. I mean, to deal with, probably a whole lot of things that you're like, okay, any day you could just said, forget this. I'm done. I can't, I'm not going to do it. This is not working out right. I'm going to do this all on my own. I don't have any help. I mean, back in the day, like you said, it was just you. And for you to just keep pushing on to get to this point, because you're going to be saving a lot of other people's lives just having that buddy next to them when they're going through chemo. That's why I said, why can't I volunteer? That's nothing compared to what you've been doing. So that's awesome.
Well,
Thank you.
So everybody, come and join us if you want to, because trust me, I am all about win-win-win, and anybody that gets involved, because of the fact that I won that trophy over there and the amazing coaches, you guys are going to win too in learning what I'm learning, because what we will be creating and what we are creating is we are changing the way cancer is done throughout the world. And let's just add this. We're going to let Barbara's diamonds, the diamonds queens out there and kings within, let your light shine. And we're going to help that through humor, hope, and heart. A lot of laughter is what we deal with. And we have a lot of fun. So as we close, I know that I've let you kind of have a few different seconds for any last minute pearls, but I keep wanting to hear, do you have one more that you would like to share?
The only thing I want to say is that, I always say when I end my Diamond Factor shows, is I always say, remember, you have a diamond in you. Just let it shine for others, not just for yourself, but for others. And that diamond is so precious, so important, and so unique. And the uniqueness makes it so special because you have a uniqueness. Everybody has uniqueness in them different than anybody else. So what I do, Tamara can't do, or what Tamara does, I can't do. And that's what makes us so special. So I want you to really understand that and know that you have that uniqueness and it wasn't a mistake. See, a lot of people think they're a mistake put on this earth. No, you are not. That's why you were put on this earth, because of the uniqueness that you have. So when you dig, and I always keep saying, dig, 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 for that purpose in you, that uniqueness that's there for a purpose, that you'll understand how much it only help yourself grow and be so unique in this world, but it will help others that need it as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I am so grateful that you are a service hero. So as we close day number 325 of 300, thank you, 365 days of awesome, celebrate success through service. Barbara, you indeed are an example of a diamond. You have been the diamond in the rough. I'm sure at times in your life you felt like it. However, as you have shared today, in truth, you have always been a diamond shining, and it took a little time for you to be able to find it. And those people around you were the ones that helped you, if you will, build that pressure so that you are now letting your diamond shine so that others will too. And I am grateful to call you my friend. And I want to shine on with you. And let's have some fun with Giving Tuesday.
Thank you so much. It was an honor, Tamara. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for giving me those consultation for my family members. I really appreciate that. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And yes, my thoughts are with you and your family members as you go on today.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.